In My Hero Academia, Horikoshi has done a really good job of not letting there be any official canon couples in Class 1A, and despite the fact that it's obvious some characters are going to end up together like Deku and Ochako, another couple became extremely obvious in the official team-up mission spin-off. In this manga, we see a mission between Ojiro and Toru as they're sent away to Oku Island, where they visit Terakoya Hero School, and Ojiro instantly gets caught in a net trap the second he sets foot on campus. This is because this is actually a pretty wild island, and that's exactly why they're there, as in the school, which is honestly styled way more like a dojo, we see a huge classroom full of little students, just like when Todoroki and Bakugo had to do their remedial training, and the vibe is definitely the same here, as their quirks are all really excellent, but this has led to behavioral problems in the classroom that our two UA heroes are here to find the solution of, but on their way, they may find more than that. Ojiro manages to escape from the net trap that he was caught in before, and the teacher apologizes, but quickly our 1A students get to work trying to corral this group of rampaging quirk users, with Ojiro yelling, "I'm Ojiro, and my name is Tailman. Just like you guys, I'm hoping to be a hero." For a second, the students seem excited to talk to him as they rush and ask him what his quirk is, but when Ojiro points at his tail and says, "Ah, it's that," the room gets really quiet as you can feel all the respect they had for him walk out the door. Instead of listening to him, they start discussing all sorts of rumors about UA, like how they fuse quirks there to make stronger ones and there's genetic experiments going on, but when Ojiro tries to give them proper advice on how to become a hero, they start getting mean, telling him that he's super plain and doesn't have anything that makes a cool hero. But as they start putting Ojiro down, a massive bright light shines in the room as Toru reveals that she's been standing there the whole time, and one of the boys, being really impressed with her, tells her about a special treasure hidden on the island that we're gonna go and get, as he uses his horn-based quirk to lead the way and eventually finds a temple where the treasure is hidden. And as Ojiro and Toru arrive, we see them looking for this boy who's mysteriously gone missing within the strange temple, as suddenly while Ojiro's walking down the hallway, a skeleton pops up out of the wall in front of him, scaring him half to death. As he stumbles towards the wall on the other side of the entrance, we see spikes shooting out of the wall that he narrowly dodges by hitting a pose, and Toru starts to laugh that maybe she isn't being picked up by the booby traps, but jokes about how cliche Tailman's response is to this whole situation, since he's acting like a character straight out of an Indiana Jones movie. Tomb Raider would probably be a better reference, since we see the two of them get excited to venture deeper into the tomb, and Ojiro alone has to more or less deal with all of the traps by himself, like a swinging rope bridge hanging over a pit of spikes, a giant ball rolling towards him in a tight hall, and even swinging spike balls. But as she watches him make it through all of this, Toru tells Ojiro that he can do it as this love story continues. Ojiro has trouble getting through all of the traps and obstacles, and Toru promises him that if he makes it out alive, she'll give him a kiss on the cheek. But as Ojiro falls to his knees, almost getting hit by a giant ball and chain, he goes, "What did you say?" And she just says, "You can do it," obviously being a little embarrassed about what she just said. It's at this point that Ojiro turns in the opposite direction, sensing something with his tail, as he runs deeper into the cave and finds the boy that they're looking for, telling him that he didn't ask to be saved. Ojiro tells the little fella that he understands him more than anyone, since because the boy's quirk is so plain, he decided that he wanted to stand out in another way, and that's why he ventured into this dungeon for treasure. Now, as these two are gaining an understanding, Toru accidentally triggers a trap that makes the floor fall from under her as she screams out to Ojiro for help, but quickly they realize that it's actually a villain hiding within the tomb using his quirk to put everyone in danger, as this team-up mission's love story just got a lot more complicated. Scary enough for them, this villain's quirk allows him to crumble any stone that his hands touch, but the effect can also spread in the distance of his choosing, making him sort of like a budget Shigaraki, only in places made of stone like this temple is. Ojiro realizes that this is the guy that they met on the boat at the very beginning of the story, wondering just what's going on, as Hagakure tells Ojiro she'll create an opening for him, while the guy runs down the cave towards the treasure with his hand against the wall, trying to bring it all down. At that moment, Toru uses her warp refraction say cheese ability to flash a really bright light in the villain's eyes, which is probably super effective in this dark tunnel, as Ojiro uses that chance to swoop in and starts beating the guy's ass, honestly, with his tail quirk combat style. As this happens, the small boy they were there to save watches Ojiro cook and says, "Whoa, this guy's actually super strong," finding respect for the most normal hero in all of Class 1A, as now it's time to get to the moment I'm sure everyone's been waiting for in this story. But before that happens, we see her complimenting Ojiro for being awesome after they save the boy from the cave. Ojiro says that he might be more ordinary than everyone else in the class, especially because of his quirk, but he actually doesn't mind that because most of the world is pretty ordinary, so that gives him a grounded view of reality and keeps him focused. Ultimately, he ends up saying that he's proud of his quirk, and as the rain falls, we see Hagakure saying Ojiro as she gives him a kiss on the cheek, and he starts to freak out saying, "What did you just do?" She laughs saying, "Nope, it was actually just my fingers," but he says he's not sure that she's telling the truth, and the both of them start bickering back and forth as the sun starts to shine and the rain clears. At that moment, Hagakure calls him awesome again as the islanders thank them both for their efforts, and this story comes to an end.